Every morning, millions of us wake up with ambition. We work hard, we study, we strive. Yet at the very peak of the economic pyramid, there is a super rare group of individuals, self-made billionaires, who seem to play by a different set of rules. Is it just luck? Special connections? Or is there something fundamentally different in the way their brains are wired? Today, we are diving into the 6 psychological traits that separate these builders from everyone else. This isn't about business strategy. It's about the mindset that turns an idea into an empire. Whether you are in Silicon Valley, the heart of Europe, or the vast landscapes of Russia, these principles are universal. Let's begin. The first trait is extreme ownership, or in psychology, an internal locus of control. This is the absolute belief that you, and only you, are responsible for the outcomes of your life. There is no such thing as bad luck or a tough economy. There are only your decisions and your actions. Imagine you are playing chess. An average person blames the opponent, the board, or the rules if they lose. A billionaire asks, "What move did I miss? What strategy failed?" Take Pavel Durov, the founder of VK and Telegram. When political pressure in Russia forced him to sell his shares in VK and eventually leave his country, many would have given up or retired with their remaining fortune. But Durov, he saw it as a challenge, not an end. He became a digital nomad, living without a fixed country, building Telegram from scratch to operate outside any single jurisdiction. He didn't blame the system. He built his own system that was immune to external control. For the Russian audience, this is the ultimate symbol of resilience and extreme independence. It's not arrogance, it's empowerment. They believe that if there's a problem, they can solve it. And if there's no solution, they'll create one. It's no secret that billionaires take big risks. But what separates them from a gambler? They don't play with 50-50 odds. They look for asymmetric risk. Imagine a basketball game. You can shoot from half court, high risk, low probability. A billionaire looks for a gap in the defense, drives to the hoop, and performs a high probability layup that opens the path for an even larger victory later. The downside is small, but the potential payoff is exponential. Jeff Bezos is a master of asymmetric risk. When he left a high-paying Wall Street job in 1994 to start Amazon, it sounded like a gamble, but he used the regret minimization framework. He imagined himself at 80 years old and asked, "Will I regret not trying to build an internet company even if I fail?" The answer was clear. Yes. The risk of losing his current job was tiny compared to the risk of lifelong regret. He built Amazon by focusing on long-term infrastructure, limiting potential losses while maximizing infinite gains. This is the heart of American ambition. They are not risk-averse. They are expert risk calculators. They look for scenarios where the downside is limited, but the potential upside is unlimited. In a world driven by instant dopamine and notifications, billionaires possess a superpower: extreme hyperfocus and superior delayed gratification. Imagine holding a magnifying glass under the sun. If you keep moving the glass, nothing happens. But if you hold it at one single point without moving, you will burn a hole. That is their focus. They are willing to wait for the fire to start. Ingvar Kamprad, the founder of IKEA, is a perfect example. He was a billionaire, yet famous for his extremely frugal lifestyle, flying economy, driving a 20-year-old Volvo, and shopping at local markets. This wasn't a gimmick. It was delayed gratification on an extreme scale. To him, every crown saved was fuel for IKEA's growth. When the Swedish furniture industry tried to boycott him in the 1950s for being too cheap, he didn't give in. He moved production to Poland. It was a difficult decision focused on a long-term vision of global efficiency, not short-term popularity. For the European audience, this represents the value of sustainability and extreme efficiency. They're not interested in instant gratification. They're so fixated on a vision of the future that the present feels like a small sacrifice. The world changes fast. Many companies fail not because they lack ideas, but because they lack the ability to adapt. Billionaires possess relentless adaptability. Imagine you are a ship. An average ship has one destination and one path. A billionaire's ship has a destination, but also dozens of backup maps, alternative fuels, and the ability to sail against the wind or change course entirely if an unexpected storm hits. Elon Musk is the definition of adaptability. From PayPal to SpaceX rockets, from Tesla electric cars to Neuralink, he is a serial disruptor. Remember when Tesla almost went bankrupt during the production hell of the Model 3? Most CEOs would have stepped back. Musk slept on the factory floor, personally oversaw the lines, and made radical decisions to change the manufacturing process. He isn't afraid to admit an initial approach was wrong and pivot. For him, ego is the enemy of progress. They don't fall in love with their ideas. They fall in love with results. If one path is a dead end, they find another, faster and more efficient. This might be the most unpopular trait. Self-made billionaires often have high levels of disagreeableness. They aren't afraid to be disliked, and they are mentally bulletproof. Imagine a tree growing in the desert. Thousands of sandstorms hit it, but it stands firm. Its roots are deep, and its bark is thick. To them, criticism and rejection are just sandstorms. Jack Ma was rejected from over 30 jobs, including at KFC, and failed repeatedly in his early ventures. He was called crazy when he talked about the internet in the early 90s. But he didn't seek social validation. He knew his vision. When everyone was skeptical, he kept going. He challenged traditional business models and built a giant digital ecosystem. This resilience, the ability to bounce back from repeated rejection, is a hallmark that transcends all borders. They don't live for praise. They live to achieve a vision. And on the path to that vision, they are prepared to face rejection and criticism time and time again. So, are these traits genetic? Research suggests that while there are predispositions, most of these are mental muscles that can be trained. It's not about being a different person. It's about sharpening the psychological edge already within you. Of the 6 traits we discussed, extreme ownership, asymmetric risk, hyperfocus, delayed gratification, relentless adaptability, and calculated disagreeableness, which one resonates with you most? And which is the hardest for you to develop? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Building extreme wealth is hard, but building the right mindset is the first step. I am Ofejandro. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next journey into the minds of the extraordinary.